There's about 190 faculty across the there's a new division coming up, four divisions, called them faculties also. There's about 1,100 researchers, that means postdocs and research scientists. There's about 1,600, 700 students all across campus. We don't cover all the fields of research, of course. We cover the ones that are of great interest to the world, to Saudi Arabia. We were, for the third time running, ranked #1 in the Arab world, top university in the Arab world, according to Times Higher Education. And if those of you who know what the Nature Share Index is, a Nature Index Share, it's basically the share of publications that are nature relevant, i.e. top-tier publications. The Nature Index share of KAUST is about 80% of that of the country and 54% of all the Arab world in one university. These are numbers I wish I had the slides for, but I've seen them so many times from leadership, but I should get them next time. But this is the reality. So we do top-tier research ourselves and with collaborators. We have great students. They go all over the place after they graduate. We were on the AI front in terms of AI talent development, and you'll see this in a bit in the slides. We have the highest talent density for AI in the Arab world. So thank you for making it even denser, for coming here. Having said that about KAUST, this event is very important to us. I'd like to give a couple of seconds of recognition for the people that have made this happen. Okay, first I want to make you feel how unique this opportunity is. Don't take it for granted. Those of you who are flying in from all over the Arab world, this is a unique opportunity. Maximize it as much as possible. All right? Other people could have been in your seat. You are here, they are not. So benefit from that. And it is hard to organize such events at scale, so please join me in applauding the MENA-ML organizers, please. If you see any of them, I hope on the lanyards it shows that you're an organizer. Please go there, thank them, shake their hands. And of course, please applaud KAUST Academy for the great organizing that they're doing here. Without them, we won't be able to do much, to be honest. All right, so going right into it, just to give you an outline of KAUST's mission in text. This is a picture from Building 16. I call it the spaceship because it looks like a spaceship. It's an administrative building. You could see the beacon, you could see the library, that's the white building, that's where my office is, actually on the 3rd floor, that's where the center mostly is. It's all across campus, but a lot of the offices are there. And the mission is to do great science and technology. I think over the last 16, 17 years, we've been able to do that. But then use this excellence to actually drive and be a catalyst for innovation, economic development, and social prosperity. That's our mission. And we're in our newest phase of strategy. We are doubling down on the second part because we feel that we've done the first part and we continue doing the first part. So we are in alignment with what's important to the world and to Saudi Arabia already. So these are the pillars that we focus our research on. We have a great supportive ecosystem in Kingdom that allows us to do blue sky research, try to provide solutions to challenges that are very difficult and need great minds to think about how to solve them. So we're very fortunate enough to be in that ecosystem and a beneficiary of that ecosystem. So health and wellness, of course, as you know, sustainability, energy, and what's called economies of the future. So if you look at AI, AI is specifically mentioned under economies of the future. It's seen as a technology that could bring up more sources of income for the kingdom and the world. But also, if you look at the other fields, you see a lot of intersections of AI and the other three fields. This is the reason why you'll see when I show you the structure of the Center of Excellence, we structured it in a particular way. So I see AI as a vertical as well as a horizontal. So it by itself is a technology that can drive great innovation and change and has a revolutionizing potential, but also it can be a key enabler for many other fields, all right? So, but the Center of Excellence that I'll talk to you about was based on our research excellence. And so I'm going to do a bit of some, not shameless, but let's call it not shameless, bragging about our ranking in AI. So if you go to csrankings.org, it's a well-known ranking site that just manages, it just tallies the top-tier venues in particular fields of computer science. If you click on AI, vision, machine learning, graphics, and visualization, so it's a sum total of visual computing plus the subfields of AI, except for NLP, because we don't have NLP faculty as such at KAUST. You see us at rank 25 in the world in the last 10 years. The only green flag that you'll see, the only green Saudi flag that you will see in the top 300 or 400. We're literally putting the country on the map when it comes to this. So for example, under computer vision, if you look at it, it only tallies 3 conferences: CVPR, ECCV, and ICCV. Just to tell you how prestigious these conferences are, go to Google Scholar Rankings. It ranks basically in terms of impact all venues of the world, all across all fields of engineering, science, whatever you want, okay? In terms of impact, they rank them. So guess what number 1 is? Nature. If only, maybe soon. Nature was number 1. Number 2 is CVPR. CVPR is the second most impactful venue overall. It was number 4 before, number 5 before, number 10 before. It's going up in the record. CS Rankings records that. Number 3, again, this is across all fields, is, medicine has to be represented, right? It's a huge thing. So it's New England Journal of Medicine is number 3. Number 4 is science. So we are in good company when it comes to the impact of our venue. So these are the venues that CS Rankings actually records and tallies for the different subfields of CS here. So KAUST is very highly ranked there. And the number of faculty contributing to this ranking is very small because we have 190 faculty across all fields at KAUST. So basically there are some ECE or CS departments in the US that are as big as all of KAUST or half of KAUST at least. So in terms of visual computing itself, I'm a computer visionist, so I like showing this. We're even higher ranked in vision, graphics, and visualization, and we're in good company with the rest of the world. So this is something we take great pride on. But leveraging this research excellence and moving to the next step is what we're after with the Center of Excellence in Gen AI. So we know that we're really good in pushing the boundaries of techniques, theory, algorithms for AI, Gen AI, but we see that a great amount of impact can be driven by applications, okay? X plus AI, not AI plus X. We tried AI plus X, it doesn't work. X plus, well, for us at least. X plus AI is where it works. And I'll tell you a little bit about that soon. So imagine, this is how the center is structured, okay? You have faculty and researchers trying to target this a la carte menu of research, an ambitious research agenda, to be honest. In the center, there's a factory. There's an AI factory that produces, a factory produces things. So it produces AI models, theory, algorithms. It tackles technical challenges of the current models out there. There's many still, despite what you see in the news, okay? But let's not mention any names here. But despite what you hear in the news, there's a lot of technical challenges still that need to be researched. But these are usually data domain agnostic, so it doesn't matter where you apply these methods and algorithms and theory, it's agnostic to that. However, the great impact is when you take these models or theory and algorithms and you specialize and customize them to the various pillars of application that you're interested in: health, sustainability, energy, and economies of the future. That's where we drive a lot of impact, and you get real-world impact, in fact. These application fields are headed up by leads. They are domain experts. So they drive the agenda, not an AI expert that looks at this application field as a data domain of theirs. No, it's the domain expert who believes in AI being a revolutionary power, working with AI experts to push the envelope further in their domain. Hiring people at the intersection of AI and the fields is much more difficult. Take it from me, because I've been on the lookout for researchers at the intersection of AI and chemistry, and I've only been able to convince one so far. Right? He's in the crowd right now. Please stay with us. The reason why it's so much harder to hire such people at the intersection than, let's say, an LLM expert is because you become a double threat. You have maybe two big companies looking for you. Maybe a pharma company, maybe a chemical company, as well as maybe big tech companies. So there's even less of those people at the market. So if I give you any advice, try to be at the intersection. There's a book that I always reference called The Medici Effect. There they say step changes in breakthrough, in innovation, the big changes, happen at the intersection of fields. And if you find yourself at an intersection of these fields with one of these fields with AI, you probably will have many more opportunities in the job market than if you're just an expert in one. Okay? So this is how we're structured. At the outer level, we do a lot of deployment, training, and outreach. Training is to upskill those that are non-experts to become more of experts. Deployment is for our tools and methods to be used by non-experts so that it's ubiquitous. So we don't want to research new tools, but also have people use them to see how they can help them in their daily lives. And outreach. You can consider this outreach here. We have a bunch of challenges in Kingdom that we try to focus on, diving a bit deep. So we are focused on the Arabic language, on safety, on building foundation models and agentic platforms for a variety of applications, from environment to health to sustainability, energy, and so forth. So, I won't go into much detail about any of these. If you want, we can talk later about them if any of this interests you. But our portfolio of research, it grows with the kind of partnerships that we get and collaborations we make along the way. So we cross all campus. We cross all 3 divisions. We have faculty from almost all the programs: chemical engineering, bioscience, environmental science. All these programs are involved. Why? Because we're not only focused on core AI at the factory, but also applications. And a lot of our application colleagues, we have world-class experts in those domains, and they believe that AI can play a big role in helping them do their jobs better, helping them discover new things at a much higher rate. Let me dive into the different parts of this graphic. Let's start with the factory. So I'll just rattle off some big ticket items and research directions that we have. So we're interested in building an open weights Arabic English LLM model. This is not to go on the news and say that we made this model and call it something and then brag about how great it is for about 2 minutes and then it's no longer number 1 on benchmarks. This is not our intent. The intent is to dissect every single piece of the pie that's needed to build an LLM from scratch and upskill and train those interested in the various pieces. Because once you go in and dissect these pieces, you kind of figure out where the innovation can go. And having training in all these pieces could be very interesting for our students and researchers. We're interested in multimodality, of course, efficiency in inference and training. And efficiency is not only computational efficiency, but also data efficiency. Do you need tens of trillions of tokens to train an LLM? Could you do the same work with less? This is a question that we like to ask, and we publish papers on. We are taking a step towards AGI, whatever that means. We have our own kind of internal definition. And we put in high regard work on AI safety. This is dear to my heart because I do believe that we are one disaster away from AI safety being on many more tongues of people than they are right now, and be on par with cybersecurity in terms of their importance. One disaster away, I just do hope it doesn't happen to any of us, any of you, but it is coming. I don't want to be a fearmonger here. This is going to happen. With more and more companies and people using AI models, knowing what we know about how fragile these models can be, despite all the best efforts of those producing the models to make them as safe as we have research on the matter. We kind of know where things can go haywire, how you can jailbreak into these models, and how you can kind of guide them doing things that they shouldn't be doing. It's only a matter of time, okay? So it's actually a very interesting direction of research. So it's dear to my heart, and I think more and more people should be working on it. So that's the factory. Of course, the list goes beyond this, but these are kind of the highlights. On health, we want to build foundation models, but for health, specifically for health and the health data modality. We are very honored to have collaborators within Kingdom that can allow us to kind of collaborate with us on using their data and working together and seeing where these foundation models can go. This has applications to, of course, disease diagnostics, pre-screening, as well as drug design. We're building a GMP facility for vaccine and protein therapeutics on campus, first of its kind in Saudi Arabia. It's actually next to the research park. You can see it while going. There's a bunch of pictures of it. It's not finished yet, but there's a bunch of pictures, and of course, there will be AI in that facility. On sustainability, again, focusing on foundation model building, foundation models for Earth observation data, satellite data, hitting up on agricultural data, trying to build models that can give us nationwide understanding of what's going on in real time in the country when it comes to agriculture or environment. This is our hope. This is our goal. It's very important to know what's going on at any given time. And this includes not only kind of, what about the farmland, but also water usage, environmental implications of certain industries, and so forth. So imagine you have a real-time tool that can do all of that and inform decision makers. This is something of great interest to us. We also want to try to help with discovery of new materials that could help us with climate change, like DAC, direct air capture. These are materials DAC materials are materials that you can build that can sequester CO2 from the direct air. So you put it out there and it actually traps CO2. Last year, the Nobel Prize in Chemistry went to the three fathers of MOFs, which actually can be used for DAC purposes. And so the idea is, can you use foundation models of sorts on chemistry to be able to help discover these things? And I think we have some interesting results on that. Of course, foundation model building as well as AI can be applied above ground, on the ground, and below the water. We have quite a bit of work on monitoring our reefs. Reefs are I would say, one of the most influential, if not the most influential, elements of biomass in the seas and the waters, right? And the more we can monitor them and monitor their health, the better we have an understanding of any challenges that we might be facing in the future. There are challenges in the Red Sea and other places, but since we're on the Red Sea, we do a lot of work on the Red Sea and where we see that going. On energy, of course, foundation models again as a big ticket item, but for particular chemistries, catalysis, chemical reactions, material science, all put together, this is the grand plan, into something we call the Lab of the Future. We have on campus a fully automated robotic chemistry lab. So basically you have robotic arms putting together the different ingredients you need to do the chemical reaction. You have multiple chemical reactors that can run multiple chemical reactions in parallel. Maybe not for every single type of chemistry, but many important ones. And then you have the readout. So you have robotic arms that move it to the readout stage, and you can read out the output. So imagine now chemistry can become a chemist writing in a bunch of experiments they want to run, click enter, and then wait for the robotic lab to finish the results, and you get the readout. That could be the future of how chemistry works. So imagine that in addition to having that, you have an AI chemist foundation model that was trained on billions of chemicals and chemical reactions that can inform the human chemist in how to maneuver a search space of chemistry, let's say to discover a particular new material. This is our end goal. We hope to take strong steps in that in the next few years, and we call that the Lab of the Future. So, of course, there's preventive and predictive maintenance for facilities that are operating. You need to keep tab of the health of every single piece of equipment, especially the critical ones. You can't imagine what can go wrong if critical equipment goes down in a facility of any sort, especially in energy. So it's very important to kind of keep up to tab with the health of the equipment and how to move that forward. On economies of the future, we do, because we have a lot of knowledge and expertise in LLM building and what can go wrong, we, with partners, we work on deploying safe and customized LLMs for organizations. Again, this is with collaborators on their data. We also are working on AI for education. We really do believe in that. It's very hard to find good quality tutors nowadays, especially outside the big cities. And so it would be great if you can have an AI tutor, not to replace teachers by all means, no, but to help with the tutoring. And tutoring is different from answering questions. Actually, it's the opposite. You don't want a tutor to give you the answer to a question. You want the tutor to help a student learn how to solve the question themselves. That's the whole point of a tutor. And we're doing we're pushing forward on that, focusing first on mathematics, and then hopefully getting to STEM, all of STEM. We do a lot of work on generation, some interesting stuff, how to edit videos, images, all the nice stuff that you see online. A lot of research goes into that, with particular interest in applications like entertainment, social media, and gaming. One thing that I'd like to highlight here also is this country is hosting the 2034 World Cup, in football. And just to, highlight one interesting thing at KAUST is that we've had years and years of experience of applying AI to video data, especially broadcast football and other data. And we were able to start working with FIFA and do interesting projects together. And we got their stamp of approval to launch the FIFA Research Institute at KAUST. There will be a video, once it gets all approved, a video of this coming out soon. And this is the first, it's on the website, FIFA's website, even though there's no nice video yet out there, but it's on FIFA website. It's the first in Asia and the fifth in the world. Okay, there's 5 of them in the world. And because of all the great work we've been doing on analyzing football video, this institute has been established, and we look forward to working with FIFA on very interesting topics on analyzing broadcast video and football. But also this opens up our collaborations to the sports relevant entities in Kingdom. All right. In terms of the last layer on the top, so we want non-expert users to use these tools, okay? This goes beyond just opening up I guess I'm mandated to say Gemini first and then ChatGPT in that order, just because. It's not, it goes beyond that. It's like, can there be a local deployment of a framework that allows you to kind of deploy all of these great proprietary models or open source models on your own data in a safe, reliable way within KAUST? This is something that we've done already, and we've piloted it quite a bit, and people are seeing the efficiency, the productivity enhancement that Gen AI models are alleging. They can see it in the real world, and so we plan to do more of that. We do a lot of it through KAUST Academy, of course. We do a lot of specialized training, either at the advanced level or various levels of training. We actually have a professional master's degree in AI with the Ministry of Interior, as well as Saudi Aramco. And we do residency programs with our partners. So they come and integrate themselves in our research projects to learn what it means to do research in AI. And we do regular engagements with partners and collaborators all the time. I think 80% of my time now is that. It's exciting, but sometimes I just like to go back and read a paper from once in a while. All right, we wouldn't be anywhere without our great students. This is an article that KAUST was not asked to comment on. I can guarantee you that. This is the Arab news from the summer. This is about, there was an Arab news article about Saudi Arabia and other countries in the Gulf, UAE especially, about how they rank in terms of talent density. And there in the bottom is the highlighted version I want to show you. They mention KAUST as, we joined the ranks of the top 150 universities. To be honest, I don't know exactly how the ranking was made, but anyway, any publicity is good publicity, right? So this is good publicity. So top 150 universities in the world for AI talent production. That's at the bottom left for you guys. And it's the highest ranking institution in the Middle East as a whole. So this is something we're very proud about. Our students are our main output for this institution. They are amazing. They go all over and they make a difference. And you will see many of them, you know, on campus. And some of the graduates are actually, you know, helping with MENA-ML. All right. So in terms of what we can do, we cannot do much without great partners. The reason why is that we are great. That's Economy 101. You keep on doing what you're good at, right? We're good at certain things, and I can admit that we're not good at certain things. And so knowing what the technical challenges are in particular fields in the real world, you know, because we want to try to drive impact in the real world. We don't want to create and come up with research problems just for the sake of solving those research problems. This ivory tower reputation that academia has, unfortunately, needs to, we need to work at changing that reputation. So we can only do that by having willing partners to talk to us, to tell us what their challenges are, what could be of great impact, and then we work together on trying to finding research solutions or an agenda to address those challenges. And so we're fortunate enough to have signed quite a bit of agreements over the last year and a half of the center with the likes of SEC, with the Ministry of Communication IT, with the biggest insurance company in the MENA region, with Tahakkum. I see Ilm as a sponsor. We're looking forward to Ilm as being another partner of ours. And just recently, where KAUST is launching a Cisco AI Research Center for 5 years, playing at the intersection of what Cisco is good at, as well as the kingdom priorities in terms of those 4 mission pillars. So we're very fortunate enough to have those partners because they ground the research that we do. You know, we want to do research that matters. We will still publish in the top tier places. We will still have a great ranking in CS rankings. There's no question about that. But can we guide the research that we do, guide it towards more real-world impact? And I can give you a bunch of examples of how that was the case. the more and more people we get to work along those lines, the more real-world impact we will see. So in addition to great partners that we count on great talent. And talent of all sorts, at the engineering development level, at the researcher level, at the faculty level, at the postdoc, research scientist level. So this is an open invitation for anybody interested in joining this great institution in fulfilling its very ambitious research agenda in the capacity that you have to reach out to those. For example, if you want to apply to our MS PhD program, you can go and apply online, all right, in their admissions. We can talk to you about, the kind of details about that. If you want to apply to a researcher job, so for example, a postdoc, research scientist job, figure out who are the faculty that you want to work with. It could be me. Stop me wherever you want to stop me, and then let's talk. Send emails. Get in touch with the people that you want to work with. Express your research interest to those people. We're open. We're curiosity-driven. We're not really set in our ways. We can change and embark on new challenges with the new talent that we have. If you're interested in a faculty job, again, there's online application. There's an online application portal for that, and we're always on the hunt for great AI faculty. If you're at the intersection, even better. You could be hired by 2 faculty instead of just 1. So please reach out. This is an open invitation for those interested and dedicated to doing research, okay? Please reach out, apply, talk to KAUSTees, get yourselves involved. This is a unique opportunity, like I said at the beginning, for you to benefit. It will be there's going to be a lot of self-learning, of course. You are adults. You're not going to be spoon-fed. You're doing research, so it's not for everyone. But if you believe that you can do it, you have what it takes, we're ready to help each other out on this, all right? And with that, I thank you all. And there's a bit more time for questions because I'd like to hear from you. But thank you for listening, and I hope it wasn't too boring. Thank you. Yes.
Hi, Bernard. Thank you so much for the great speech.
Thank you.
I took a lot of notes. Now I have a lot of things to start a conversation with you later on.
Okay, great.
So my question is out of curiosity, because you're the chairperson for our working. So my question is, in what of the 4 fields do you have the most number of partners?
Which one you have most of the partners? To be honest, it's not the number of partners that we have to look at. It's the kind of the kind of interesting projects that we have, and I think it's pretty uniform. Of course, we have quite a bit of work in the energy sector because we have Saudi Aramco, of course, as a big partner. They literally decided that it's just too much work to fly out their engineers and researchers to KAUST all the time because we have so many projects together. They built an actual building here. It's right on the water. If you go, next time you go to the cafeteria, you look across the bay, there's the beacon to your left. There's 2 big buildings with logos on them. One is Saudi Aramco, a whole R&D building. Next to it is Dow Chemical. Dow's headquarters for the MENA region is at KAUST. It's a chemical company, very well-known chemical company. And next to that, a very new building is the Ulayan Building for Entrepreneurship. We're big on startups and entrepreneurship, of course, and the Ulayan group has been so generous to us to actually build a whole building named after the group for this purposes. So there's a whole R&D building for Aramco on campus as a factoid there. But in terms of the different circles, they're pretty uniform, I have to say. Some partners are interested in more than one. You see, so some are interested in the factory and maybe an application field. Some are interested in a few application fields. It depends on who the partner is. This is why how I see it is it's an a la carte menu to anybody interested. And I think a lot of the institutions in Kingdom can find something that they like in this offering. Right? This was the purpose of the design, in fact. So does that answer your question?
Yes, it is. And maybe if we have time, maybe I can ask another question.
Sure.
You mentioned that 80% of your time now is about like doing contracts with partners, and like 20% is on research, maybe teaching some students courses, such. So I wanted to ask, what was the last research paper you read about?
The last one that I read about, I mean, I read all the time. I mean, take your pick. The last research paper that I read were my own students' research papers, because we have CVPR rebuttals very soon. So that's the last research paper that I read. But I wish I could have more time to, I still, of course, we have project meetings, we have group meetings and theme meetings, but I wish I had more time myself to do more of that. I really rely on the mature researchers in my lab to take most of the grunt work out of it, and they do a fantastic job. I didn't talk about my personal interests. I have a bunch of personal interests myself, and for those of you interested, we can talk about that also. A research interest, I mean. And but yeah, the last papers that I read are our own CVPR submissions. I can't mention them to you because of the double-blind rule, so I apologize for that.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Yes?
Thank you for the inspiring speech, and I think we are lucky to be in KAUST in this time. You mentioned a lot of research problems.
Yes.
And I think one of them you mentioned about Arabic LLMs, and you are working on building such LLMs. And you mentioned also there is a lot of components, and when breaking these components, you can make contribution in these components. So I just want more details about Arabic LLMs, what challenges are trying to solve, yeah, and so on.
So maybe you can take that offline. It's a longer discussion, and I can route you to a particular faculty member or members that are actually working on this at the forefront of this. Okay. So Professor Francesco Urabona, and George Turkiya. Both faculty are looking into the different parts of it, either on the alignment side, the pre-training, the post-pre-training, the instruction fine-tuning, all of this stuff on the Arabic side. So just to add out of some shameless advertisement on our end, there's a software, well, not software, it's a repo that we put out. It's not published yet, but we hope it will get published soon. It's called Hala. This is instruction fine-tuning using Gen AI tools to translate and kind of edit English instruction fine-tuning data sets that are prevalent out there to make them into Arabic, so you can instruction fine-tune Arabic models. That was something that we saw that there's not a lot of data sets out there that had Arabic fine-tuning data, instruction fine-tuning data, and so one of the students or a couple of students worked on maybe looked into the problem of translating them automatically, and then using some interesting other techniques to be able to make it work. And actually it was quite successful on some benchmarks without having to annotate anything manually. That was interesting. This was just the last from our lab on this topic. But Professors Francesco Urabona and George Turkiya, they could have more to say.
Okay, and about last question about the LLMs, you mentioned it will be open weights, right?
Open weights, yeah. The purpose. So we're in a field where when you publish now at CVPR, and I think in all the machine learning conferences, you have to tick a box where you have to commit to opening everything. Yes. Open weights meaning the weights are open, the data is open, the training process is open, everything is open. This is our commitment. Right, and so that everybody can benefit. It's a way to democratize everything.
This is the way to do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
On the point of George Turkiya, he's coming in to talk tomorrow, and also we have a keynote on Arabic LLMs as well.
Perfect.
Thank you. So, hi, assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Mr. Ghanem, for the presentation. I've been here just 10 minutes, and the presentation is really delightful and enjoyable. But what got my attention is the KAUST Gen AI training. You have passed it fast. Could you please mention it? Is it for researcher or everyone, masters? And can be remote, because most of us works very far from here. The duration, is it welcoming everybody? And is it focusing on research or applications more? Thank you.
Thank you for that. Yes, unfortunately, I mean, I didn't have too much time to go through everything in detail. But for the training side, we do most of our training efforts through the KAUST Academy, right? So we work with them on, call it various verticals in terms of AI training. So there could be, they would know, so Naeem would go into detail on that. So there's different offerings. So there's at the, the intro level AI, which is maybe for a week, and then the more advanced, which is for a few weeks, maybe a month, and then like a 3-month training that's specialized. So we play a role in many of these levels. We do advanced training in particular topics with partners. So partner organizations, they want to know, they want a whole week on what's beyond static learning. We do a lot of research on continual learning and going beyond the static approach of training models, right? A whole week whereby they send over 30 of their brightest engineers, let's say, to get a deep dive and practical deep dive. This is not only me lecturing to them. This is in the morning lectures and in the afternoon hands-on practice of learning, kind of new emerging fields, subfields, or state-of-the-art methods on particular technologies in AI. Of course, Gen AI is part of it, but it's not only that, right? Then there's these professional master's degree that we have with organizations. And of course, there's the training that we do with our students. So one new aspect of this, and nobody knows about this yet at KAUST, but I'll share a little bit. I'm intent on, because I told you it's very difficult to get those people at the intersection, of the fields. I'm very intent that we launch at KAUST. This has not been greenlit yet by KAUST yet, but I'll just share it with you. I'm intent, and I will do whatever is possible to launch a series of training called AI at the Intersection. We can change the name. It might not be nice enough, right? AI at the Intersection, whereby advanced training of AI for the application areas that you see, those 4, is given by experts in their domains to people in the domain. So somebody like Gergo, for example, his PhD is in chemical engineering, but he knows a lot of deep learning. He knows what he had to go through to learn the techniques, being a chemical engineer himself. He is the best, in my mind, because we tried it the other way, it didn't work well. He is the best person to be able to give this advanced training to his fellow colleagues in chemical engineering. So I would love that, and I will do whatever I can to kind of launch these series across all the 4 application areas, the various programs at KAUST. This will be meant for KAUST researchers, unfortunately. But if this is a great success, we can open it up to others. But in my mind, it has to be given by the domain experts to the domain experts. All right? That's where I think it would have the most impact. And those people in the room would learn faster from somebody who's gone through it themselves. All right? So that's another kind of layer of training that we'd like to get to. It's at the intersection. And I think we're going to see so much more impact driven by that than what we've seen so far with generic kind of AI training, which, don't get me wrong, it's important and we'll keep on doing it, but at the intersection, we don't want to leave anybody behind. And this is going to be our effort to keep everybody on the same page when it comes to AI and Gen AI.
Just ask like a very quick one. So I have actually 2 quick questions. First one about entrepreneurship. So my name is Dahi. I'm an AI entrepreneur. And at the very end, you lightly touched on like some entrepreneurial activities happening. So from your own experience, I would love to hear any success story about taking something out of the lab to the market and what was actually the enabler so I can learn. And the second quick one, I think everyone can relate to. My dear friend here is like, Amjad looked you up and he saw that you have over 40,000 citations, so mashallah.
Oh, I do? That's great.
So in relatively like young age, so what's your tips and tricks for many actually researchers in the room here to be that productive and that impactful? So these are my 2 questions.
These are not quick questions at all. I mean, my goodness. Okay, so...
Can I answer the first one for you? Answer the first one for you.
Okay.
We have a workshop, a keynote actually, a workshop on Wednesday. I want to say Wednesday. where Taqaddum, the KAUST accelerator, is going to come and talk about taking ideas from the research field and applying to industry. So that's saving you the first
Haytham will give that? Haytham Al-Hamsi?
Haytham Hamsi.
Yeah. So Haytham Al-Hamsi is the director of the Entrepreneurship Center. There's a whole center in the research park where big companies have set up shop as well as startups. So KAUST also does this innovation part. And Haytham will talk about that. Great stuff coming out. It's startups from KAUST and also from the Kingdom and from spin-ins also. I have to say, from a person who's been through it all, it is not easy. I have had so many failures, in terms of startups, and you'll have to fail to get to the place that where you actually can succeed. I guess is my only advice on being a successful entrepreneur. I haven't made that grand exit yet, but hopefully I will in the current ventures that I'm doing right now with some interesting research that we've been doing. The second question was about what again? Sorry.
How in mashallah, like such a young age to get to be that impactful and productive to...
First of all, I would not look at numbers. These numbers. Thank you, Google, for crawling the citations and all, and you're getting better and better at it. I don't necessarily look at them, although they could be important in various places like promotions and so forth. But there's many ways of inflating those. Some faculty, look, great research will always find a way to get published, all right? That will always be the case. This is what I tell my researchers all the time. It might get rejected once, twice, 3 times. It will get out there. So don't be too stressed out if a paper gets rejected. That's number one. Number two, you, depending on who I'm talking to, if it's an assistant professor, you have to play the game in a bit. What I mean by that is you have to publish in topics that are the hype at the moment and try to do, have a part of your lab do some, something out of the box. But don't risk it all because you're on a promotion clock, right? If you put all in, if you won't go all in, I'm using, card game terms here. If you go all in one direction, it doesn't pan out because it's high risk, high reward, you might not get a promotion. So I wouldn't advocate that for assistant professor. But once you go to an associate and full, you have more latitude to try out new ideas, even though everybody's going in one direction. Even though that's the case, they might not have it all figured out because there's reasons why that are not necessarily based on research insights. It could be other things at play here that people are going down this direction. And there are subfields of computer vision that have died out because too many people went down this direction and then they found it to be a dead end. Complete subfields died out because of this. So it's always important to keep your mind on some out-of-the-box thinking ideas, try them out in the lab, and see if they work out. And we've been fortunate enough to have that. We're well known in terms of what we do in video. We have papers that show to the community that they've been doing it wrong for the last several years, and we should stop doing it because it has no real-world impact. I can point you to several on the continual learning side. Big companies, from discussions with them, will never use these tools and methods because they're not latched to reality. Stay latched to reality, okay? Still publish at CVPR, still publish at but work on something that might have a shot of being used in the real world. But if you know just from the get-go that this is no way going to be useful, and you might get a paper out of it, that's fine. We're not after that anymore. At the very beginning, maybe as a student, you wanted a paper, you needed a paper. But after that, focus in on what you think really matters to the topic and try to drum out all that noise around you, despite how loud that noise is. So, and don't really be pushed primarily by numbers. This is not going to go well because you can always game the system and you don't want to be a gamer, all right? In that sense. All right, thank you so much for the questions. Thank you for the attention.
Thank you so much, Professor Bernard. And on the story of rejections, there is a very famous paper called PageRank. They got rejected from the first conference, and it said, the reviewer number 2 said, this paper is useless. I don't know why people would ever use it. It went on to become Google.